So let's rip off the band-aid quickly. Most people fail their diets. That's not me being cynical, it is the unfortunate reality. The mass majority of folks who try to lose fat eventually throw in the towel. Maybe they plateau. Maybe life gets chaotic. Maybe they still don't have six-pack abs after 3 weeks and conclude that they are doomed to live in elastic waistband pants forever. But here's the glimmer of hope. In both research and in real-world coaching, there are a few key things, 5 to be exact, that consistently help people avoid that fate. These 5 principles are the difference between spinning your wheels and finally seeing that stubborn fat give up its leash on your love handles. If you know these ahead of time, your odds of success don't just go up, they multiply. So let me break them down. Number 1 is that your scale is a dirty liar. So let's start with what messes with your head the most, which is the scale. You probably expect fat loss to look like this, a nice predictable downward slope. What it actually looks like is more like a crypto portfolio. Confusing, unpredictable, and slightly depressing. So here's what no one tells you. Your weight can fluctuate up to 5 pounds in either direction on any given day. That's not necessarily fat. It could be water, food volume in your gut, sodium, sleep, or whether you poop that morning, or if Mercury is in retrograde. Who knows? This is why we recommend our clients weigh themselves almost every single day, but with some rules. Same scale, same time, usually first thing in the morning, post-bathroom, pre-coffee. Then we look at the average weight over a week, not day to day. Weekly trends tell you the truth here. Daily fluctuations tell dramatic stories. And even that truth is sometimes misleading, which brings me to point number 2. Measure more than just your weight. You are not a number, unless you're in a dystopian novel, in that case, carry on. So seriously, the scale can only show so much. That's why I have my clients track multiple markers. Progress photos. Yes, even if you hate taking them. Waist circumference, strength in the gym, energy levels and hunger, how your clothes fit. These all give a fuller, more accurate picture of your progress. One of my clients actually hit a 3-week plateau, but during the same period, he gained strength, dropped an inch off his waist, and said he had more energy than he had in years. But the scale, it wasn't budging, but his body was. So if that number's not changing, but your belt got looser, guess what? You're winning. Now for number 3. Stubborn fat isn't really that stubborn, you're just impatient. So let's talk fat cells. Not all fat is created equal. Some areas are just a little bit more clingy. You could say emotionally unavailable to the idea of being burned off. This is largely because of the type of receptors that they contain. Alpha receptors are the awful ones that cling to fat like a cat to a warm laptop. Beta receptors are the beautiful ones that willingly release your fat for energy. Guess where your body stores the most alpha receptors? For men, the belly and the love handles. For women, it's the hips and thighs. Now here's the kicker. When you start dieting, your body doesn't go after these areas first. No. It picks the easy wins, the fat that's more metabolically active and easier to burn. It saves the tough stuff for last, kind of like doing your taxes in April. So yes, your face may lean out first, then your chest, arms, maybe even your calves. But that stubborn belly or those thighs, they'll be the last to go. And if you quit before that happens, you'll never get to see the real results. The solution isn't a magic ab routine or fat burning HIIT class. Science has tested those, they don't necessarily work. Spot reduction is basically the fitness version of wishful thinking. So, how does this work? That brings me to number 4, which is the real hack is consistency. And I know this isn't sexy advice. I know just be consistent doesn't get you 50K likes on Instagram. But it works. In fact, it's the thing that works. My client John put it best. It's tough when you see yourself in the mirror every single day and you don't feel like anything is changing. But I realized it was really about the bigger picture. It took him nearly 8 months before his abs even started to show. And during that time, he stayed consistent, not perfect, but consistent. So here's how your body actually loses fat. Like I said, it burns the easy stuff first. Then once it has no other choice, it goes after the stubborn areas. But this only happens after you've proven to your body that you're not going to bounce back to your old habits. There is no shortcut here. No magic biohack or miracle cleanse, just time, patience, and doing the right things over and over again, even when your progress graph looks like a stock market crash. So before you jump into a diet thinking you'll have abs in 30 days, ask yourself, could I stick to this for 6 to 12 months? If the answer is no, you may want to recalibrate your expectations. And then, of course, number 5, if you want to look better, you got to eat more protein. So let's clear up a common misconception. When people say, I want to lose weight, they usually mean, I want to lose fat and look leaner. There's a big difference. You can drop weight super quickly with a ultra low calorie diet and endless cardio, but most of that weight will be water and muscle. The result is that you'll look like a smaller, saggier version of your current self. Not exactly what you're going for. If you want to look good and feel good, you need to preserve muscle while losing fat. The simplest way to do that, eat more protein. A study from a resistance training group tested by increasing protein to 1.1 grams per pound of body weight. Even though they ate more total calories, about 250 more per day in the study, they lost fat and gained muscle. Why? Because protein is metabolically expensive, fills you up, and helps you retain muscle even in a deficit. So what should you aim for? Start at around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you're already near that, try going a little bit higher. Can't eat that much? Get some whey protein. It's not cheating, it is strategic. If you're doing everything else right but skipping protein, it's like driving a Ferrari with no engine. Now, for a bonus, your mental game really is 90% of the battle. So here's the tip that no one really talks about enough. It's that your mindset is the linchpin. Fat loss isn't just physical. It is deeply psychological. It's about sticking with your plan even when your weight's up a pound. It's about not losing your mind when the progress slows. It's about not comparing your journey to the guy who lost 30 pounds in 8 weeks, who probably gained it back in 12. One of the best mindset shifts you can adopt is to treat fat loss like a long-term project, not a quick fix. Don't diet to get abs for summer. Diet to build a body and a lifestyle you can maintain for the long term. Also, take your eyes off the calendar. If you're improving, who cares how long it takes? If you're moving in the right direction, even if it's slow, you're still moving. And here's the real secret. The people who win at this game are never the most talented or the most genetically gifted. They're the ones who just didn't give up when it got boring. Simple as that. So let's wrap it up. The scale lies, but trends don't. Track your weight and other markers like photos, waist size, and strength. Fat loss is not linear. Expect ups, downs, and weeks where nothing happens. This is so normal. Stubborn fat is going to be the last to go. Stop expecting your belly to magically melt first. And of course, consistency beats hacks. Stay the course longer than your impatience wants to. And of course, protein is king. If you're not eating enough of it, you're leaving results on the table. And also, mindset matters more than macros. Play the long game and don't self-destruct over slow progress. So if you internalize these principles before starting your next fat loss phase, you're going to be miles ahead of where most people quit. You'll understand what's really happening under the hood and you'll have the tools to stick with it. But remember, this is less about finding the perfect plan and more about finally sticking to one long enough to let it work. Now, go eat some protein, maybe stay off some Instagram transformation pages for a bit, and get to work. And if you would like a little bit more help getting in shape, dropping body fat, building lean muscle, and feeling like you're 20 again, feel free to book a discovery call in the description below. Catch you in the next one.